Hello everybody, it's Mike Andrew. Once again providing a short video with practical insights as it applies to business and leadership. I'm going to focus more on the business side this time and talk about finance. Finance is the language of business, as they say. Yet so many of us are intimidated with that language, just like I'm intimidated with technology terms, the technology language. But it's unnecessarily intimidating, and I don't think it should be. There are so many financial terms that mean the same thing. Sales is the same as revenue. Expenses is the same as costs. Net income is the same as profit, is the same as earnings. Raising capital means raising money. So they throw ROI, return on investment, means so many different things. There's so many different ways to calculate ROI. You could look at what's called return on equity, return on asset, internal rate of return, or payback method, other ways of calculating ROI. So what I want to do is, I have a chapter in this book, my book here, How to Think Like a CEO and Act Like a Leader. There's a whole chapter in there, chapter 19, where I explain finance, hopefully, in very simple, common sense terms. I try to take away from the intimidation factor. I try to explain it. Even the Wall Street perspective, I talk about the Wall Street perspective. What do they look at? And I explain it in very simple, common sense English. So I don't want to get into a lot of detail because I want to keep this video short. But in finance, there's two primary financial statements to be thinking about. If you work for a company, the company produces their financial reports on a quarterly and year-end basis. And it's good to be able to, if you become really good at it, within 15 seconds, you could look at key numbers and know how well did we do and how healthy are we financially. So here we go. Let's talk about two primary or fundamental financial statements. The first one is the income statement. And here we go. It's also referred to as the P&L, profit and loss. And the second is the balance sheet. So let's start with the income statement or the P&L. It answers this one fundamental question. This is the whole purpose of the P&L. It answers this one fundamental question. How did we do? How did we do? Did we make money? Did we make as much money as we had expected? Or did we make more profit than we expected? Did we make less? Did we make more of a profit this year than we did the same time last year? When you look at the last 3 years, is our profitability trending upwards, trending downwards, or holding the same? There's a lot of insight behind that information. How are we doing performance-wise compared to our competitors? So the P&L or the income statement answers that one question. How did we do? And basically it gets into the revenues minus all different levels of expenses to get your net income. I can get into a lot of detail, but I don't want to do that right now. I'm happy to if you'd like in another video. The other financial statement is the balance sheet. And that answers the question, how healthy are we financially? How healthy? How's our cash situation? Do we have enough cash? And sometimes they call this working capital, working cash, working capital. Do we have enough money to maintain our operations over the next month, over the next quarter, over the next year, without having to borrow money to maintain our operations? So how healthy are we cash-wise so we can do payroll every month and so forth and meet all our expenses and obligations? So it looks at what do we own in terms of assets, in terms of property and buildings and cash and investments. What do we have in debt in terms of long-term debt or short-term debt, and what's left over is equity. Now, there's a lot behind that. I can get into things called historical cost and book value, market value. I don't want to do that. I can if you wish in another video. But basically, those are the two financial statements. The P&L or the income statement says, how did we do? And the balance sheet, how healthy are we financially? I hope this is helpful. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you next time. Take care.